Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Law of Relevancy podcast. Today I'm joined by my special guest, Chevelle Hallback. Thank you, Chevelle, for joining us.
Oh, man, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Oh, we're so pumped to have you on the show. So as you know, we interview entrepreneurs, creatives, marketing professionals, and Chevelle has all of that. And she's got a really unique story, as you can notice right here on our table. She's actually a world champion, 5-time world champion boxer, and a number of other things. Again, Chevelle, thanks for joining us.
Thank
How are you today?
Thank you, man. I'm wonderful. Great.
That's awesome. Well, anyhow, we would love to hear a little bit about how you got into being a professional boxer, because when I was coming along, you're just a few years ahead of me. Believe it or not, you're in way better shape than me. But when I was coming along, there was no such thing as female professional boxing.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. My mother took me to see Rocky. Rocky 1, 1973, no, 75, I think it was. I could be wrong, but Rocky 1. And she's very animated. And so when Rocky was getting beat down, she stood up in the middle of the movie theater. I mean, just jumped up and started screaming, "Hit him back! Hit him back!" Right? And so I'm real small, right? I think I was, how old? I don't know, 4 or 5. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, really? But that excited me, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. That passion. And so years later, 7, 8 years old, my bedtime was 9 p.m., supposed to be 9 p.m.
Right.
But I'm laying in bed and I hear coming from my parents' bedroom a familiar voice. "Hit him back! Hit him back!" So I'm like, oh, I jump up out of bed and I run to the corner of my parents' bedroom door, right?
Yeah.
So I'm peeping around. And on the floor, this big wooden television. I'm pretty sure you know about that. That big wooden television, right? And on the television screen,
the remote control was, Chevelle, could you change the channel?
Could you get that, baby? Come, baby, come. Come. Could you please come to? But yeah. Exactly right. But on the screen was Muhammad Ali and Spinks 2.
Oh, wow.
So I'm standing there and I'm watching the TV, right? And Muhammad Ali's moving back and he moving back, and Spinks trying, but Muhammad Ali's making a miss. And
yeah.
So I'm standing there and I'm like, doing this, bobbing and weaving. And I'm saying to myself, man, I can do that. Like, that's easy, right?
Yeah.
So I go to bed. And as I'm laying in bed, I'm punching up in the air and I'm looking up in the air and I'm like, I want to fight. I want to be a boxer, you know? And so years later, in my 20s, I'm over some friend's house and Mike Tyson was the thing back then and waiting for the Mike Tyson fight. And on his undercard, 2 females.
Yeah.
And I about lost my mind. I'm like, wait. Girls fight now? They're fighting now?
So you learned about it
watching
on a pay-per-view event.
Yes, sir. So that was a Saturday. So that following Monday, I went to the gym. I walked in. I think I was there before they even opened, just waiting. Saw the man go. I walked in. I'm looking around. The guy said, "Can I help you?" I'm just looking around. "Can I help you?" "Yeah, I want a box."
Yeah.
So, you know, he's looking at me strangely like, "You want to do what?" "I want a box." So, you know, okay, come back.
Like you saw the pay-per-view event, right?
Right, exactly. That's what I should have said. You saw it. You know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Right. So, you know, he told me what I needed, you know, for the gym. I went and purchased those items, came back, and he stuck me on the bag and showed me a couple of moves, 1, 2, and I was there for like a good, almost a month.
All right, so now you're from Plant City.
I'm from itty bitty Plant City.
Were you in Plant City when this all happened?
At the time, I was in Tampa.
Okay, so you were in Tampa. So the gym was here in Tampa somewhere.
Yeah, the gym was in Tampa, right. As a matter of fact, it was, at the time, it was Carter's gym. He doesn't have it anymore. He sold it to, it's Punch now. But I started on Bears in Florida. In Tampa on Bears, at Carter's gym. And so, like I said, I walked in and everything. He had me on the bag for almost like a month. and frustrated because I'm more looking around the gym and I see all these guys. I was the only female there.
I want to hit somebody.
You know, exactly. They're training in the ring, beating up on each other. They're hitting the bag, you know, the speed bag. And I want to do these things.
He's just waiting on the second female to show up.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he was waiting on, but I was tired of waiting. So I said, hey, can I have a word with you, man? What we doing? He was like, what's the problem? I said, man, I want to box. He said, well, what is it that you want to do? I want to do what they're doing.
Right.
And I pointed to the ring where they were sparring. And he said, you think you're ready for that, man? That's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So he told me what I needed to get for that. And he put me in the ring, and I got dropped about like 3 or 4 times by this guy. And I got up, went to the bathroom, and got myself together and came back out. And I said, Coach, what time do I need to be back tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And he asked me the question. He said, so do you really think you're going to become a boxer? I say, nah, I don't think I'm going to become a boxer. I know I'm going to become a boxer. And not only am I going to become a boxer, I'm going to be a world champion one day.
Well, let me ask you about that. Because, you know, I like to talk to people about when they get to realize a vision, right? So there you are in that moment.
Right.
Your first time being in that ring.
Right.
And you're looking across the ring at your opponent, who's a dude.
Right.
Right? And he comes out and puts you on the mat.
Right.
Several times.
Right. It was 3 times.
You're probably happy as hell. You were probably having a blast, I assume.
You know, I've been a fighter all my life. The oldest grand out of 18 grands. So I was everyone protector, you know. So my mother's a fighter. My whole family, they're fighters, you know. Yeah. The women in my family are fighters. So I've been a fighter all my life. So in that ring, standing across, you know, to my opponent, I felt like I was at home. And he came at me, you know, and I was always taught that you may not win every fight, but try to win that battle, you know. And I was in a fight, but each and every time I got up and I stood up and looked him in his eyes like, okay, I'm ready, I won the battle, you know. And I knew I could come back another day and win the fight. Yeah. So it did not deter me from not wanting to become a boxer. It motivated me even more because I felt within myself that this was done purposely to get me not to want to box. You know what I'm saying?
Probably show you where you need to be.
Exactly. You understand them? In a man's world, some may think that a woman places in the kitchen, definitely not in a boxing ring. You know, so I'm going to show you, you know, put you in your place. Okay, well, I'm going to show you that my place that you think is my place is not my place. My place is exactly where my heart desired to be, and this is in the ring.
So your heart told you in that moment, I am home. Like, this is where I want to be.
This is where I want to be. And, you know, and I want this so bad that you're going to have to kill me to keep me down, you know? So I told him what I was going to do, and a year and a half after I spoke those words, I became a world champion.
A year? It only took you a year and a half.
I didn't have not one amateur fight, not one. You know, I went to the fights, but no one would fight me. So I went ahead and turned pro. And my first fight, won by knockout. Second fight, I lost. Third fight, I won. Fourth fight, I won. Fifth fight, when I fought for the world title.
So what was it like? So were your coaches, did they come from your gym? Where's it the people at your gym and they were seeing your potential and they were going with you?
No, in the beginning, my coaches did come from the gym that I was training at. But as I grew and I felt that, okay, either I wanted more and it wasn't teaching me more, or they wasn't putting in to me what I felt that I needed from them. Sure. You know, then I moved on, you know. Yeah. Or if I felt that they're just doing it, you know, maybe for the money, or they really don't believe in me, they just do, I move on, you know.
And so 7 fights into it, you became world champion? Was it 7?
No, 4-1-5.
5 fights in, you won the match and became the world champion.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes. And, you know, when that gentleman dropped me. I wasn't fighting against a young boy. I was fighting against a man.
Yeah.
And when he dropped me 3 times, I said, okay, I know physically a man is physically stronger than a woman, faster than a woman. What can I do, to offset that? So I started studying boxers. Roy Jones Jr. was my boxing idol. And you couldn't hit Roy.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't hit you, they can't hurt you.
That's right.
So I practiced and I studied defense, and counterpunching. You punch, I make you miss, I make you pay. And I just kept studying it. On the bag, I would practice it, and I would practice it, and I would practice it. And that same young man that I sparred and dropped me 3 times, we sparred again.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't able to touch me, And so once I learned that, then I learned to put the offense with the defense. Oh, man, I became a beast. I became a beast, but I was passionate about it. And I wanted to be the best at what I was doing, and I wanted to show anybody, be it man or female, this is where I belong. And if you come in this ring with me, I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about your latest fight.
Oh, man. My latest fight. I fought a young lady. I want to say she was 10 years younger than myself. At the time, I was 49. I'm 50 now. I love my age. I love telling my age. And so I fought in my hometown, itty bitty Plant City. It's Plant City, but I call it itty bitty. I fought in my hometown for the first time in my whole career. Now I fought in Tampa, which is like 15, 20 minutes from Plant City.
Mm-hmm.
I fought in St. Petersburg, which is like 30, 35 minutes from Plant City. But I never fought in Plant City, and I always wanted to fight home. So when an opportunity came about for me to fight at home, my opponent, like I said, I think she's like 10 years younger than I was.
This is only a few weeks ago.
About 5 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago. And she came in. Now, usually, hometown fights, you have a B side and you have an A side. You have the red corner, you have the blue corner, right?
Okay.
The A side is usually the side, hometown corner. Everybody from that, that hometown, from that place where the fight is being held at, they're usually in the A corner. Or the promoter that's holding the fight, they're usually in the A corner, right? And the opponent, the people they bring in for you to fight, is usually in the B corner. My hometown, the promoter that put on the card, he put me on the card and everything. And when the listing of the fight, the order of the fight came out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which order you'll fight and where you're going to be at, I was placed on the B side. And I was like, what do we have here?
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because when people face adversity,
right,
you have a choice.
Right.
You can let it get you down.
Right.
Or you can turn it into motivation. So,
right.
So what did you do?
Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
You're a world champion. I know what you did.
Come on, man. Motivation.
Yeah. Right.
Motivation. You always try to bring the good out of any situation that you may face with. You try to bring the good out of it, I could have saw that and let that get me down and be like, why are they doing this to me? Oh, my God. You know what I'm saying? The fix is in. I know now, that you got it for her to win. And no matter what, if I don't knock her out, they're going to take the fight away from me and I could have folded.
Yeah.
That motivated me to say, you know what? You're looking at my age. You're looking at how long I've been in the game. You think it's time for me to retire and to move on. You're bringing a new and up-and-come fighter. I'm a 5-time world champion. She needs my name on her resume to say, hey, look who she has beaten. It won't be me, and it won't be in my hometown. Thank you. Now I'm
You've been
really
waiting
motivated.
your whole life, your whole career to fight in your hometown.
In my hometown. I'm ready to put on a show for my family, for my fans that has never seen me fight before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're motivating me. Thank you. Thank you. And I went out there and I took care of business. I won the fight, took care of business, and the ones that there was actually individuals that came up to me and told me, I didn't think he was going to win. People that I thought was on my side. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was going to win, and actually apologized to me. You still got it. Yeah, it never went anywhere. Because before that fight, you know, besides my age, boxing age, I'm old. Besides my age, I hadn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't fought in 2 years, you know. So and then she had just fought. I think like 3 months prior to our fight.
Mm-hmm. So she was in great
man,
fighting
she was
shape.
in right, you know. But I went in there and you know, it starts with the mind. You know, if you tell yourself, you've already been defeated. You defeated yourself in the mind. But if you tell yourself, oh, she hasn't been where I've been. She hasn't been in the ring with the people that I've been in the ring with. She doesn't have the experience that I have. She doesn't have the knowledge that I have. You know what I'm saying? This is my hometown. This is my hometown.
Yeah.
You know,
That's one of the things I really enjoy watching boxing YouTube videos is you'll like yourself, you'll have the champion or somebody who want to fight give a commentary, almost like director's notes when you're watching a DVD or whatnot. And they'll explain to you the whole strategy. And it's extremely sophisticated. A lot of times, like how they prepare for a fight or the strategies during a fight.
Right.
And it just explains why like amateurs just get the floor mopped with them by these pros, you know, who really, really know what they're doing.
Right. You know, and I tell people, you know, boxing is a very dangerous sport because we have to bleed for ours sometimes. We don't play anything. Football is dangerous, but you play football. Soccer is dangerous, can be dangerous, but you play soccer. Hockey is definitely a dangerous sport, but you play hockey.
Right.
Boxing, you fight.
It's a war.
There's no play nothing.
Yeah.
And you understand? And we have to bleed for ours sometimes. And sometimes there's been ones that I have known that didn't make it outside of that ring. Yeah. They died inside that ring, you know? So you have to be mentally tough as well as physical because like I said, you know, you never know what may happen inside that ring.
Well, let's talk about what you're up to these days.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important. I mean, obviously, like physically, you're in phenomenal shape. You're still actively pursuing your career at the age of 50. That's got to be some kind of a record.
Right. I appreciate that.
How are you you're obviously keeping your body sharp. What are you working on these days to exercise your entrepreneurial muscles?
Right.
What are you up to?
Well, I said that at the age of 50, I wanted to retire from boxing. I do want one more retirement fight before I exit, but I'm preparing for my exit from boxing.
Who's that fight going to be with?
You know what? I don't know, but I would really love to fight. I would really love to fight Clarissa Shields. I would really love to fight Clarissa Shields. You know,
Clarissa.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields.
She's calling your name.
You know, that would be a nice going out fight. You know, she's a very good fighter. She's a hungry fighter. She's a 2-time Olympia boxer. First time females ever been in the Olympics, and she won twice gold.
Nice.
You know, very dangerous. That would be a very dangerous fight. She's a strong fighter, fast, quick. I mean, all the odds would be against me, 100%. But what better way to challenge myself? What better way to go out on top, win or lose? What way to go out to say, hey, I came in fighting the best. I went out fighting the best. You know, I think that would be a perfect fight, but we'll see what happens.
All right, so let's talk about promotion. So how do you get a fight like that? Because you're your own promoter, correct?
I am.
Let's talk about the business of boxing.
Oh, man, the business of boxing is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. It's very, very hard to find someone that you trust in boxing. Boxing is not organized like the NFL or basketball, you know, NBA. It's not structured like that. Each man's for his own, you know.
Sure.
And so it's a lot of politics in boxing. A lot of
positioning.
It is. It really is, you know. And someone like myself, I mean, I get the excuse all the time, oh, there's nothing to gain to fight a Chevelle Hallback. You know, her age, you know, if we win against her, it'll say, oh, you were supposed to win against her because she's an older fighter. If she beat you, then that would look bad, you know, and this and that. Those are all excuses for not wanting your fighter to fight someone. Because if I'm considered one of the best and I'm physically ready and you're physically ready and you're saying you're the best, what's the problem?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? What's the problem? So trying to, first of all, like I said, like you said, I don't have a promoter, so I'll be at the mercy of her promoter of wanting to put on the fight with me. You know what I'm saying? Or,
so how do you do that? You call them? You email them?
well,
Send them direct mail? Any other marketing strategies? Will geofence her house?
well, what I'm doing now, you know, and letting it be known. And honestly, she knows already. We've been back and forth on Twitter years ago, but back and forth on Twitter. And anytime a mic is put in front of me, I always say, I want to fight Clarissa Shields. You know, so they know about me. They know that I'm out here. They know that I want to fight her, you know. But yeah, other than that, you know, just like social media, going on social media,
Sure.
you know, letting her manager, promoter, handlers know that I'm here.
Is that what you've always done to promote yourself?
Yeah, man. In the beginning, I've had managers. I've had good managers. But the relationship we're in, when they think that it was very hard to get me fights, right?
Until you were world champion, then everybody wants to fight you.
No.
Even
it got
still?
worse. When I won this title here, I didn't fight again for 5 years.
What?
Not because I didn't want to. There was no one that wanted to fight me for my title. So let me tell you about the politics of boxing. You have to defend your title to stay current, I think once every year at least. They waited until no one will fight me. Then the organization came and stripped me of the title. And then the 1 and 2 fought for my title. They rather wait until I did not defend it and get taken away from me than to fight me.
That's incredible.
So 5 years after this one, before I fought this, I think it was like 3 years that I didn't fight. Then didn't fight 5 years, and then didn't fight 2 years, and I fought 5 weeks ago.
So how many times did you defend your title as a world champion?
As a world fight. Now this title here, I never defended it. The first three that I had, I think I defended like twice. These are in different weight classes. So this was a 5-time world champion because it's in different weight classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like what you're up to these days, so obviously you've got one more fight coming up.
Right.
Let's get Clarissa.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
But when you're not getting that fight,
right,
you're motivational speaking.
Yes.
You're a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Like, how do you put yourself out there as a motivational speaker?
Well, I just me as a person, I love motivating people. I've been doing it ever since I was a child, you know, motivating individuals to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
But with my boxing career and all the obstacles that I've been through, not only with my boxing career, but my personal life while boxing, you know, just telling my story that you can do it. I've been invited to events, boxing events, and I let people know, hey, I also am a motivational speaker if you ever want me to come out and speak. I started by going to schools, you know, like they have the American All Teacher something day, and they invite someone to come out, you know, like your parents or whatnot, someone that does a profession to come out and speak to the kids. So I've always been invited to come out and speak to the schools about discipline, how disciplined you have to be in this type of sport. And from there, I'll get other people that will see me, hear about me, and want me to come to their organizations and speak as well. I also belong to a group called Speakers Academy, where they also show you the business side of being a speaker as well. So that's how I got my start, as being a motivational speaker. But each and every day of my life, I meet individuals just by my conversation with them. What you doing? How you doing? What are you doing with your life? Where you see yourself 5-10 years from? Well, you know, this, and that. I motivate and inspire people each and every day of my life.
Yeah, and this is one hell of a story that you've got there, but you also like to tell stories.
Oh, most definitely. I'm a screenwriter. I just started. I wrote my first short movie called Papa Was a Rolling Stone, based on a lot of based on a lot of facts from my personal life.
Sure.
But it's a story about forgiveness and moving forward. You know, in order to anyone to move forward in your life, you have to learn how to forgive. And that short movie is a movie about forgiveness, and it's really dear to my heart. And I think that a lot of individuals out there can learn from that story, can learn from that movie. Papa Was a Rolling Stone. It's on YouTube right now, but I love it. And right now I'm currently working on another story, writing right now. Hopefully I'll be finished with it by the end of this year, and we can start production next year sometime.
That's fantastic to hear about that. I mean, because it seems like whatever's in front of you,
right?
How do you when you were becoming a boxer, you were like, okay, I know what to do. You go to a boxing gym. I've seen this movie 30 times, right? You go to the boxing gym. When you become a screenwriter, where do you go? How do you teach yourself how to do that?
You know what? Funny story. I would want to be an actor. So I'm like, what can I do? What do I need to do to be an actor? And Google is my best friend. So if I want to know something, I'll Google it or whatnot. And then I do have a friend, a relative that has a friend that's in the film business, and I also call them for advice. So I wanted to be an actor. So what I did first was I reached out to an acting school in St. Petersburg, and I enrolled there. And so one of the projects that we had to do, one of our assignments that we had to do, we had to go and pick a scene and come back and do the scene, right? Look at a movie, get a scene, and come and perform the scene in class. Well, I know this might sound crazy, but a person that want to be an actor, I really don't watch TV that much, but I want to act. I know I can. I know I can do it. So when she said that, I would go and I went to Netflix and I'm watching a couple of things. And I'm like, I said, you know what? I'm gonna write my own scene.
Yeah.
And so I Googled screenwriting just to see what the format was, right? Character A, character B. And I wrote it. So when I went to class, it was called My Best Friend. Best Friend Betrayal. That's what it was. My Best Friend Betrayal. And so when I went to class and the teacher asked me, what was my scene? And I told her the name of it. She said, oh, I've never seen that movie before. And I was like, no, it's not one. I wrote it. And I don't want to say she was trying to discourage me, but she was pretty much saying, you just started. You just started everything. Yeah. You're not at that point right now. Right. You're not at that point. And I'm like, okay. Do not tell me no.
you don't know.
Do not tell me what I can and what I cannot do. Please do not do that.
That's told me I can't do something.
Oh man, now I have to prove you wrong.
Right.
So okay. Went back home. Next class day. Chevelle, are you ready? You have a scene yet? Yes. What's the name of your scene?
I would have thought you'd at least pick something from Rocky or something like that.
One of my monologues is from $1 Million Baby. That's another story in itself. I get back to that. But yeah, so anyways, class time. Chevelle, you have your scene? Yeah. What's the name of it? Best Friend Betrayal. Chevy, you know what? Fine. Just come on.
Yeah.
So I went and I did the scene. And after the scene, she was just like, two things. She said, first thing, you really can't act. Like, you're going to be a great actor. Second thing, you really can write. I said, thank you.
Yeah.
First thing I wrote. And then I went home and it's like the bug bit me. Like, wow. Then I went home and I wrote Papa Was a Rolling Stone. And then I went and I started writing, and it's like, sometimes like when I'm driving or something, or just like looking into the days, it just started coming. Like characters are like talking to each other in my head, and it's just flowing. And I'm like, okay, and I have to write. I can't sit down and just write. It has to be like, boom, oh.
Right, you just captured something. You just saw like an interaction between like a mother and a child.
Exactly.
And it's like what happened before that moment.
Exactly. So I love it. I almost love it more than acting itself. But I think I want to do both. And one day I want to become an executive producer. I call myself executive producer because I produce my own show. You know, the actors, I paid them. I paid everybody. And so I'm like, wow, that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Create my own content, you know. So I love it, and I want to keep pursuing it.
So for you, that trigger, a lot of times it seems like, is somebody challenging you. They don't think they're challenging you. They think they're saving you some time.
Right. And
by telling you can't do something. Right.
Exactly. It's a challenge, you know. And getting back to my storytelling, also, it's also another form of motivating and inspiring through my storytelling, you know, through my life experience, but doing it through film, not only on stage or speaking to someone, but doing it through film as well.
Will we ever make your personal story into a movie?
Everyone keep asking me about that. Everyone. But you know what? Tell you a little story. $1 Million Baby. Mm-hmm. So I followed a young lady named Lucille Riker.
Okay.
She was on $1 Million Baby. Matter of fact, she was the fighter that put her in the hospital. Okay. That scene was based off of our fight.
Really?
I didn't know that until Lucille Riker was inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame. Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. And she stood up there and then she was talking and she looked at me and she said, I have to thank Chevelle Hallback. Clint Eastwood saw our fight and he decided to, and that's where he got the idea for $1 Million Baby. And
that's
I was
gotta
like,
give you the chills. That just gave me the chills now.
I was like, wait, time out, but where's my money?
Yeah, I know, right. Wait a second.
Wait, I've been cheated.
Let's get back to the business of this.
Right. But so that really did, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, you know, wow. But yeah, man, you know, the writing is like just another form of motivating and inspiring. Yeah.
That's good. So we got the one fight coming up. You have some new movies you're working on.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like there's just whatever you want to tackle.
Pretty much.
You're just going to set your mind to it and get after it.
Yes. Eventually, my end goal is I would love to try my hand at promoting at least one fight. It would be nice to co-promote or promote my last fight. That would be very nice. That and also eventually open up my own boxing gym. Mm-hmm. I would love to teach the up-and-coming male and female, you know, and then also train older women, you know, just to let them know, hey, you're never too old to do anything that you want to do. If your mind and your body can do it, do it. Don't never let age define you. You know, you can
That's
do
really
anything.
Good advice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, Chevelle, thank you again for coming on this show and talking to us about your life experience and what you're up to now. It's phenomenal. I know we're all going to be paying attention and following you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And if somebody wants to follow you, where can they follow you?
Yeah. So everything is Chevelle Hallback. Facebook, Chevelle Hallback. ChevelleHallback. Chevelle Hallback on Facebook. Chevelle Hallback on Twitter. Chevelle Hallback on Instagram. Also, I have a page called Hallback Swag. I love to the style, dressing, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, and also my email, www.chevellehallback.com. If you want to, Chevelle Hallback at gmail.com. If you want to get in contact with me for speaking engagements or just talking to the youth or whatever the case may be, I can be reached at Chevelle Hallback at gmail.com.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes,
and again,
thank you.
Thanks for visiting. If you want to follow the Law of Relevancy podcast, we're everywhere where podcasts are found across all of our social media, as well as Apple Play and everywhere else where podcasts are found. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time.